this is a pumpkin farm. This happens to also be a pumpkin farm, but I want to take things up a notch. That's why today I'm going to be building a pumpkin farm that produces over 1 million pumpkins per hour. All this is going to be done on my Minecraft server, the Pond MC, a Minecraft server open to both Java and Bedrock players. But we have a lot of building, so let's get to it. Now, this right here is my Skyblock Island. We have my humble abode, the castle, all of my various different spawners over here, my cobblestone generator sitting right above it, and then some various farms to the left. But what you'll notice is this skyscraper over here, and this is actually a pumpkin farm. Not just any pumpkin farm, but a fully automated one chunk farm, all powered by this special little hopper down here, the crop hopper. As you can see, any pumpkin that is grown inside of this chunk is immediately collected and put inside of this crop hopper to then be distributed among this collection system that I've set up. And as you can see, we have anywhere from 5 to 20 pumpkins being collected per second. But in order to collect 1 million per hour, we're gonna need to bump that number up to around 250 pumpkins per second. Now, conveniently over here, this crop hopper is working overtime. As you can see, pumpkins are coming in at a much faster rate, but nowhere even close to 250 pumpkins per second. And so now starts the build for an even bigger and better pumpkin farm that at peak efficiency should hopefully be able to produce around 1 million pumpkins per hour. Now, this right here is -64. As you guys know, the new Minecraft 1.17 update, I think it was, they lowered the build limit to -64. And as you can also see, the max height limit has been increased to 319, meaning we have around 380 blocks worth of chunk space to use for this farm. And oh boy, we're gonna use every single last block. And that's convenient because, yeah, we're gonna build this to height limit. Now, my 2 pumpkin farms are currently located at the edge of my island, but I want to build this new one closer to my spawners because this is actually where I just sit and AFK on my server, because this way I'm able to AFK my spawners, which make the most amount of money for me at the moment. So if I could also have this loaded in at the same time while AFKing, that would mean double the money, double the income, and double the goodness. All right, now, unfortunately, we won't be able to use all of the room down to -64 because we are actually going to be needing to build our collection area and our storage room down here below the farm. And this thing, if it's producing 1 million drops an hour, then we're gonna need a lot of storage space. So we're leaving as much room as possible for all the chests, and this is actually going to be the very first floor of the farm, the first layer. So from -50 to 320 is still around 370 blocks. Divide that by 3, because there's 1 layer every 3 blocks. Still over 100 layers with like 128 pumpkins per layer, which would put us at around 13,000 pumpkins per minute, which would put us around 13,000 pumpkins in this one chunk, which might not sound like it can produce 1 million per hour, but that's why I have something secret up my sleeve. And the cool thing about doing this on a server is typically you can't make a build out of crying obsidian, but in Skyblock, you can pretty much make builds out of whatever material you want. All right, to facilitate all this, we have just purchased for $20 million 2 crop hoppers, but there's a slight catch. These are crop hopper V1s. So the way these work is they don't actually harvest the crop, just any crops that happen to be dropped in the chunk will be collected, and you guys saw how that works. But as you can see, we can actually upgrade these to V2 for 25 million, which would typically be pretty steep for your boy. But we have 9.74 billion. And so early game, yeah, 25 million is crazy, crazy, crazy expensive. But late game, 9 billion. I'm not even the richest person on the server anymore. Or I actually haven't been for like a year or so, but we can easily afford these crop hoppers, and we're placing them in corners because these things can only harvest about 64 per second. So once one fills up, then it'll go to the next one and the next one. So we should have, in theory, up to the potential of around 250 items collected per second in these crop hoppers, which is exactly how much we need for around 1 million items. Okay, I think this should be sufficient. If you want to know how many chests there are here, I have literally zero clue. I've stacks and stacks of chests, And if we need to go bigger, then I could definitely expand, but I think this should be good to start us out. I mean, we don't even have a single layer built. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and build a layer, but not only build a layer, I want to time myself to see how long it takes to build a layer, because that will let me know how long I'm going to be spending building this farm. Okay, just over 4 minutes to get a whole layer planted, not including lighting, which was like 4.5 minutes per layer. And after some quick math, it'll be around 9 hours of just straight building this farm. However, I recently hurt my hand and I want to get this project done. And the cool thing about most Skyblock servers is they're economy based, as you can see you have $10 billion. Now this makes me the 8th richest player in the entire server. Listen, I have my methods, but we're able to use these funds to hire people to help complete this farm for me, or should I say with me, because I'm still going to be actually working on the farm. So now I'm going to go out, recruit as many helping hands as I can, make sure they're paid handsomely, because we have a ton of work to do. We have been able to recruit the help of these 3 fine gamers, which in theory we should be able to knock this out in like 2 hours or so, but that's not gonna happen. It's super late at night, but we'll get as many layers as we can do. Anyways, commence the time lapse. All right, we are officially at the, okay, not even close to halfway mark, but we're at Y level 5, which means we're out of the negatives, which is, it's good. We've been making a lot of progress, but so far it's just dirt layers. But this, believe it or not, takes so much time, and so at least just getting this part done helps tremendously in speeding things up. Okay, this is 1 hour's worth of progress with the builders, and yeah, we got a lot done. However, it's super late. I gotta get some sleep, and so we'll speed through this tomorrow once I'm well rested. It's a new day. We've got some new grinders here. We got Cheery, Solo Grinder, and 44 helping out with the build. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up these rings up top here, and we only have like 150 Y levels to go. Fun times. Now, also, if you guys are asking, Ducky, why are you flying? That's cheating. Well, it's Skyblock. The whole ground doesn't exist in the first place, so I think we can take a few measures into our own hands of making things easier to do. Yes, you can build this farm 100% without flying, but that would also probably double or triple the build time for this. And listen, I'm a guy who, however fast we can get from point A to point B, I'm taking that route, especially when that route already takes 10 hours with the fastest way. So yeah, I could do this without flying, but what's the fun in that? All right, well, we got all the rings up to the sky limit built. If we fly on down, oh bro, this looks so trippy. What, through the clouds, back down to the ground. We're on Y level 110, so we still have 200 Y levels to go for the dirt. Oh man, this sucks. The sound of so many layers of dirt being placed at once, it's music to my ears. Oh my gosh, did we do it? Bro, this is crazy. Out of nowhere, like 5 people came to help out. They really came through, and we basically have this entire thing built. Now we just have to, oh my God, it doesn't stop, bro. That's actually saying we have to get all the water filled in, which I think if we just get in this water hole, fly up, because this shovel has efficiency 10, we'll have no problem just smashing through these, placing water, and then we just have to hoe all the land and plant pumpkins and see how many pumpkins we can make. All right, the water is in place. Oh no, I haven't done any of the lights. So because I haven't done any of the lighting, all I really have to do is put like 1 piece of glowstone in the middle. Actually, that's not bad. I think just 1 piece. If I do F7, oh yeah, there's just no sunlight to any of these. These still grew somehow. I have no clue how, but I'm probably just gonna slap a piece of glowstone in, and that should let all these grow. And since these have already grown, I don't think that will affect anything, because I think sunlight, you just need sunlight for them to grow in the first place. I don't really know. I'm not a Minecraft wizard. I think this should be good though. We should have enough light to populate everything. I know it doesn't look the best, just 1 piece of glowstone looks a little weird, but yeah, lighting everything up, this should be more than fine. Okay, the lights have been placed. The glowstone have all been placed on the levels. Now we have the tedious job of hoeing half of the dirt, because to make the most efficient pumpkin farm, you want to give a pumpkin 4 areas for plants to grow in. So this pumpkin seed can grow on this, or this block. It is the most effective and efficient way to farm pumpkins, especially like this, where you have something that automatically harvests them. So we have to do this for all like 100 and something layers, not only farm, but someone has to go through and place pumpkin seeds. So yeah, we're on the home stretch, but the home stretch is still quite a ways away. Believe it or not, we are done with all of the tilling. Oh my, okay, that's actually making me kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. All we have left is there's already some pumpkins planted at the top, and there's already some pumpkins planted at the bottom. So all we have to do is to just fill in the rest, and we'll have one more thing, which I still haven't said, that if it doesn't make 1 million per hour with this one thing up my sleeve, it'll definitely be cranking out over 1 million pumpkins per hour. I can promise you that. Okay, we have almost all the pumpkins planted, but I just wanted to go around to the different crop hoppers and see. Okay, so this one is cranking out like almost 30 a second before it empties. Is there another one in use, or is it just that one? A lot of these also haven't fully grown. Okay, so only one at the moment. Okay, it's kind of scary. But if we go up, we can see that most of these aren't even grown. The further you go up, the less. Wait, is there some missing? Oh, sick. I just found like a full layer that hasn't been planted. But yeah, these layers, okay, there's like 2 fully grown stems on each of these layers. So yeah, I'm not too worried. We're gonna plant all these, of course. We're only like 60% of the way planted, and then yeah, these are been so recently planted. Okay, so I was getting a little stressed there, but yeah, we still have a lot of way to go. And then maybe after like an hour or so, it'll be a good measure of once everything is fully grown, what we're looking like. Oh, and I think we are done. Fully built, fully planted pumpkin farm that spans from Y320 all the way down to I think Y-50. So all of this built inside of one chunk in a Minecraft. So all we have left to do is wait and see. Okay, yeah. It's definitely picking up the pace a little bit, but we really want to see this first crop hopper max out. And then once this one's maxed out, then we'll start heading over to the other ones and seeing how much they're being able to produce. But we're just going to go ahead and wait until we start to see this thing max out. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. This crop hopper is now maxing out each second over 64 pumpkins, which is exactly what we need. So then the overflow, I'm just making sure they're not going into these. I'm pretty sure it's going into this crop hopper over here. So this is catching the overflow from the first one. And as you can see, once that one fills up, it really quickly spikes up to like 20 or 30. But we need this to really quickly spike up to like 64. So it is time to implement the secret strategy of island upgrades. Now, these right here are crop growth upgrades. As you can see, for $2.5 million, we can get a 10% boost in how fast our crops grow. But because we already have a ton of money and a ton of island levels, we don't have to grind to get this. We can just go ahead and unlock all 5 of the crop growth island levels, which is perfect because now we get 50% more pumpkins. So hopefully we should see a relative like direct increase in the amount of pumpkins we're getting. And if you're wondering what the storage system looks like in real time, it's literally just one stack of pumpkins getting added to a chest each and every single second, which is just absurd. Okay, I think my calculations failed me. This is basically as fast as we can get the second crop hopper to go, meaning we have 2 whole crop hoppers here that aren't even being used in the slightest. Now, I thought that by going to max height, we would be using all 4 of them, but we're using about 1. We're almost able to get this one. We're getting like 35 to 50 items a second out of this one. So we're averaging around 100 pumpkins per second right now, but that's only like 360,000 pumpkins an hour, which at face value is still insane. And if we even count these 2 farms, we're still probably only making around 500,000 total per hour on the island, which I mean, 500,000 pumpkins per hour automatically without doing a thing. Yeah, I don't think there's much to complain about. especially when one of these chests sells for around $350,000 with the boost. It is hard to see, but 77,000 plus a $280,000 boost. Yeah, $350,000 per chest of pumpkins. So I think we're making around 24 million an hour with this, as long as that math hasn't failed me. Okay, we may only be at around 500,000 pumpkins per hour right now, but I just had a great idea. Okay, the game plan is we're just gonna be building a semi-large, like maybe like 2 or 3 row pumpkin farm that spans from down there all the way to pretty much the other border of the island. But the reason that we're doing this is because with the crop growth and with another trick up I have my sleeve, we might be able to crack the 1 million mark. So it might take 2 farms to do it, but we're gonna give it a shot. All right, we have our little test area built. So let me explain how this is going to work. On the server, there are things called harvester hosts, where if you harvest a crop while holding the item, it will automatically be deposited into your inventory and also instantly harvest the item. The only thing is, typically these only give you 1 crop at a time, but you're seeing we're getting 3 pumpkins per one that we harvest, and that's because it's a 3x harvester hoe. And so if we're able to harvest like 100 per second, which sounds crazy, but when you get up to speed flying, all I'm saying is I feel like there's potential in this. I mean, once you get up to speed, and if we have a whole roll of pumpkins, we'll see. Okay, the first test is going to commence. We're going to go ahead and just get up to speed here and then see. Okay, we're still instantly mining these. Oh, we just barely stopped, but I think we're getting like around 60 a second. I don't know. I'm going to go back and review the footage. Gamers, I'm sorry. I've done everything I could. After reviewing the footage, we were only getting about 80 per second. Wait, what are you doing down here? But the 80 second plus 150 pumpkins we're already making on our farm per hour, or per second, should I say. It brings us so close to 1 million per hour. But honestly, I would still consider this a huge success, because at the end of the day, we built an absolutely insane collection system that can house hundreds of millions of dollars worth of pumpkins, the literal largest pumpkin farm on the entire server. And with this mini pumpkin farm down here, we got so close to our goal of 1 million pumpkins per hour. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, drop a like, click the sub button, and if you want to play on the server, all the information is down below in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.